Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Selection Saturday Kickoff Show brought to you on both Facebook and YouTube. Tomorrow, I will be live on Facebook from Cameron Stadium for my final pregame stadium show of the season. Bright and early tomorrow morning at that with the kickoff for W&J's 2023 ECAC Joseph Lina Bowl against the United States Merchant Marine Academy. High noon for that one. Forecast calls for mostly sunny skies and the high in the upper 40s, 47, 48 from what I read. Not sure on the wind conditions, but we've been very lucky this year doing these shows. Heck, the last one, I have to say, when we played Waynesburg, was probably the best show of the year in terms of the overall execution of the show. We went through it very, very quick with all the games that we had to pick from. But this time around, we are breaking it down the way we have been breaking it down with the helmet selections, only we have no helmets to present to you guys because we are in that... you could call it a helmet tree transition. It's still another couple of weeks before we go into bowl season. But we do have the helmet tree whiteout getting its due diligence. There's my favorite term again. And in 2 weeks' time, once we get around to the business of the bowls being announced, we will take that transformation and put it in motion. In the meantime, let's see if I remember exactly what all is going on tomorrow. D3 playoffs, and of course D3 bowl games. D2 playoffs are also going down this weekend. In fact, Slippery Rock is taking on East Stroudsburg. When I last saw East Stroudsburg, they beat W&J, which I believe was the last time W&J was in the D3 playoffs. Payback will be paid in full. Leave it to the Rock to do the dirty work. That's not an actual pick. That's what's going down. So anyway, we have 39 games to pick tonight. Of the helmet and the whiteout varieties, we are leaving... I suppose it would be best if I just take the cards that I'm not using tonight and setting them aside. There we go. We have, as I said, 39 games. 21 of them will be helmet selections, and most of them are going to consist of the FCS variety. For the FCS, this is their last week of the regular season. And I believe it is Sunday where we will learn who all will make up the field for the FCS playoffs, which will begin Thanksgiving weekend. The same weekend as rivalry week for a lot of the big schools. Do I even have to mention who all is playing next week? Surely you guys already know. I don't even have to name them. But nevertheless, we wanted to get you up to speed on what's going down tonight, and we will get to the picks shortly, but I also want to point out something. Tomorrow, a pick that I'm making tonight is going to be done in a treatment that's more suited for outside. I got a bone to pick with the NCAA. Pat McAfee already took care of it, but I'm going to drive the point home a little bit more indelibly. If you're a James Madison fan, or even if you're not, you might want to tune in tomorrow. Hell is going to be unleashed on the NCAA. That I can promise you. So anyway, now having that been said, we have 38 games instead of 39 to pick tonight. So why don't we go ahead and dive right into it. And I believe I'm going to do this bit of business With a little help from the CBS Sports app, I am going to, at the very least, go ahead and make sure that I'm up to speed with not only the games that I'm picking, but if I need to have reference points for records, we'll go to them. So we're going to go ahead and start things with Coastal Carolina against Army. Army, they're 4-6, but they're already automatic on the tree, as you know. If they end up 6-6, wonderful. They're still getting helmet tree consideration regardless, but you're playing Coastal Carolina. I think Coastal wins that one, so we're going to go with Coastal. Speaking of Army, Navy is hosting East Carolina. And that one there, if I can just... CBS Sports is not being very nice to me right now. First of all, where's the game? It's on here. Did they move it up or did they move it down? What did they do? Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. Navy, of course, automatic bid for the helmet tree. East Carolina, however, is enjoying only its moment of glory in the whiteout. 2-8 and pretty much done for the year. Gonna take Navy at home in that one. Chattanooga and Alabama. Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. It's a cupcake game. This is where I have to teach you guys not to poke the alligator. Oh, who am I kidding? You guys know who's going to win that game. I know who's going to win that game. Of course Alabama's going to win that game. Alabama's got the... they don't have an inside track. They're playing in the SEC Championship against Georgia in a couple of weeks. Think I don't know? I do. I was just going to tell you guys that Chattanooga was actually a good team in the FCS this year. But when you're playing Alabama and it's a tune-up game for the Iron Bowl, hate to say it, but all bets are off. So with that being said, Alabama in a rout. Roll Tide roll. Southern Mississippi. I actually picked them to win last week. Problem is, I can't remember who they beat, but I picked them to win. It was against a team with a better record. Can't remember who it was against, but Southern Mississippi won. And what is their reward? A trip to Starkville to take on the Cowbell Kings, Mississippi State. Mississippi State is in a dire need to win out for bowl eligibility. They can put themselves one step closer with a win over Southern Miss. Problem is, on the back end of it, they got the Egg Bowl against the Fighting Kiffins of Ole Miss. You better win now. And oh, by the way, their head coach got fired. Somewhere Mike Leach is turning over in his grave. Gotta love college football, don't you? Speaking of Ole Miss, the 13th ranked Rebels have a home game against Louisiana Monroe. Another tune-up game. Take Ole Miss. Villanova and Delaware. We're going into FCS territory right now. I'm going to go with the Blue Hens because I got a feeling. I'm not sure because I don't have the evidence on me, and I'm not going to prolong the show any more than I need to, but I'm one to think that Delaware, I think with a win over Villanova, clinches. Well, maybe we should do it just this once. First of all, what the heck conference do they play in? Do we know? Is it the Northeast? It is not. It ain't the Atlantic Sun. That's Austin P territory, so we're not going to touch that. That would leave us with, oh yes. This is a lot bigger game than I thought. Delaware and Villanova both at 8-2, which means also in that group there is Reese Poffenbarger and the Albany Great Danes, who I want to think might be off this week. I think. Or maybe they're playing a game that's not a part of the helmet selections portion of the show. Yeah, this is a lot bigger a game than I thought. Maybe I need to think this a little more thoroughly. I'm still taking Delaware at home. Who knows? They might both be in the FCS playoffs. We'll just run with that and see where it takes us. Meanwhile, Maine and New Hampshire. New Hampshire, for whatever reason, and this is where the FCS completely dropped the ball, they weren't going to be a top 25 team. It's not like it's USC that you just leave them in the top 25 with 3 losses. No, you do not. They're 5-5. Yeah, they'll beat Maine, but still. If the FCS committee puts New Hampshire in the postseason, something is wrong with on the whole. There's already enough going on that's wrong. Michigan, James Madison, which I'll dive into full force tomorrow. And I'm sure there's probably going to be a couple more things that'll drive us all to the brink of madness, but anyway, Rhode Island and Towson are having at it tomorrow. Rhode Island 6-4, Towson 4-6. We're off on the road to Rhode Island. It's probably the last time I'll get to sing it this year. Gonna go with the Rhode Island Rams on the road. And I don't know if Rhode Island's playoff fortunes are still in good standing. If not, then it was a fun ride regardless. They had a winning season. Stephen F. Austin, whoops. Yeah, let's do Stephen F. Austin really quick here. Stephen F. Austin in Eastern Kentucky are about to have at it tomorrow, and I have no clue as to who to pick. Let alone trying to figure out exactly where they are on the conference front. I don't know my FCS conferences all that well, so you have to bear with me. Part of me wants to think it's not the Missouri Valley. We wanted standings. And my eye-hand coordination isn't all that great when it comes to trying to figure everything out on the fly. Everything I do is unrehearsed, so you just have to bear with me. Just have to bear with me. I'm going to find it, and when I do, I will fill you in on it because it's my job. By the way, who is it again? I said Stephen F. Austin. Can we pass on that? Go to one that I know. Okay, Richmond and William and Mary. We know where they are. At least I think I do. I screwed this up. Can we just make the picks already? Yeah, okay, I hear you. Gonna take William and Mary at home over Richmond. I think William and Mary's got an outside shot at getting into the FCS playoffs. I'm just trying to remember. Tell you what, let's try a different approach to this. Let's try a different approach. Yeah. Let's do it this way. See where this takes us. This will be a lot better and a lot easier, I think, if I did it this way. There we go. Oh yeah, Richmond 7-3, William and Mary 6-4. Am I gonna? Do I even go as far as saying mulligan? No. I'm gonna stick to the script. Gonna take William and Mary at home. And as for that Stephen F. Austin Eastern Kentucky game, I'm gonna take Eastern Kentucky in that one. Whew. Now we go Where are we going? We'll skip all of that nonsense. Louisiana Tech, Jacksonville State in that one. UTEP in Middle Tennessee State, or Middle Tennessee, depending upon your preference. Taking Middle Tennessee in that one at home. Youngstown State and Murray State. We're going back to the FCS again, which means I'm going to have to scroll through the games and see exactly when their kick time is, which isn't among the early games. It's down a ways. There we go. Youngstown State should win this one easily. Murray State isn't all that good. 2-8. Youngstown State got shut out by probably what could be the eventual national champion, and at that, a two-time or back-to-back national champion in South Dakota State, if it all goes according to plan. Texas State, Arkansas State. Arkansas State, I believe, is in line for a bowl. Texas State is already in line for a bowl. So, with 2 points on the racket and serving at 40-15, does Arkansas State deliver? I'm going to say yes on this one. I am going to take Arkansas State at home over Texas State. Temple and UAB, I'm taking Temple. Trent Dilfer needs to go. Let's put it this way. Trent Dilfer needs to go just like Matt Canada needs to go. That's how much I can't stand him. Nevada and Colorado State. This is an interesting one here because Colorado State has shown me some things this year. Number one, they can hang with Colorado, even though they lost in overtime. They can hang with them. And on top of everything else, they still have a shot at a bowl bid. Colorado State is 4-6 right now, and they finish with the home game against Nevada, and then they go to Hawaii to finish the season out. They win those two. Wouldn't it just be hysterical if Colorado State goes to a bowl and Colorado doesn't? Let's ride with that, okay? Let's go ahead and ride with the Rams. I'm going to take them over Nevada, and we'll see how things play out on the Colorado side when we get to the lanyard selections. I think they're playing. I'm pretty sure I think they're playing. Louisiana and Troy. Guess I'm going back a ways again to the Sun Belt. And Louisiana has had opportunities already to get the bowl bid that's eluded them. Troy's already there at 8-2. Louisiana 5-5. And looking at Louisiana's schedule really quicker, I'm starting to get the hang of this now. Louisiana has the game against Troy, and then they finish up at home against Louisiana Monroe. With that being said, I'm going to take Troy, and chances are I'm going to take the Raging Cajuns to beat Louisiana Monroe the following week. Louisiana will have their bowl bid. I skipped one, didn't I? Baylor and TCU. TCU, you need wins, and you need them now. 2, and you get a bowl bid. Sam Houston, winners of their last 2 against Worcestershire. Sorry, isn't it awesome that they don't have a... Do they have a school like Worcestershire University or something like that? Worcester. I'm sorry. Going off the page there. I meant to say Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky needs a win for bowl eligibility. They should get it. It's at home. They should get it. UNLV and Air Force. Air Force has dropped its last 2. They're at home against a running Rebels team that I think might want to better their record and better their bowl bid. This is a tough one. The only thing I can hope for is that it snows. After all, they're playing in, Colorado, right? Is it Fort Collins? No. I'm trying to think. Is it Fort Collins that's Colorado State? And if that's the case, where is Air Force? I can't remember. I should remember, but I don't. Now, who am I picking? I'm going to go with UNLV on the road. I am. Air Force had their chance to possibly play in a New Year's Six bowl game, and those 2 losses killed all of those hopes. A team whose hopes were killed allegedly 5 weeks ago, San Jose State, 1-5. They were 1-5 and have won their last 4 straight. And they get San Diego State at home, which took a tremendous downturn this season. I don't know the record. Not that I need to. For a school that at the beginning of the year I didn't think was going to have a chance at this point in the year after losing to Oregon State and watching the losses mount up, I am going to take San Jose State. They will get their bowl bid. They got 2 chances, of course, to make one, but it's imperative. It is imperative that they win here. And I say that in part because when I look at the schedule for San Jose State, their final game is against UNLV. And that's on the road. Better to win this thing now, because if you don't, chances are you're not going to win on the road in Vegas. So that takes care of the helmet selections. Now we got to do the whiteout versions of the helmet selections. There's 16 games to be picked out of those. Well, technically 15, because I have Appalachian State and James Madison. And while they both have their white helmets on the tree, the game itself is of far more greater importance. So here we go. UMass against Liberty. Liberty in a runaway. They'll be 11-0. Tennessee Martin at Samford. Tennessee Martin needs to win their conference and get an automatic bid in the FCS. They shall get it. Ball State hosting Kent. Ball State. Nothing further. Rice, finally you have a game that you could put yourself in the position to win. Oh, this is too easy. No, I don't think it is too easy. You're playing Charlotte, and you got to win this one. I'm taking you, Rice. I am taking you. I believe in you. You have got to pull this off. You have to. It's in your DNA. It's real. In real life, you have to win this game. I want them to. And I'm trying very hard to figure out where the hell, what conference it is that they're playing in, and I can't remember. Oh, here we go. The American Athletic. That's the one we want. And boom, here it is. Rice, 4-6. You have to win out. Charlotte has no chance in hell. Meanwhile, Rice has 2 very good chances, beating Charlotte on the road, and then they get FAU at home, and FAU right now, I believe, let's look at their schedule really quick here. Oh, they got Tulane. Oh, this is set up so perfectly for Rice, but first things first, beat Charlotte. Hawaii and Wyoming, I'm taking Wyoming. Nothing further. Cincinnati at West Virginia. Let's go, Mountaineers. Nothing further there. North Texas and Tulsa. Speaking of the American Athletic, let's look at this real quick. Both are 3-7. Shall I throw a dart at the dartboard blindfolded and pick a winner? I'm going to go with Tulsa at home. Tennessee Tech, Tennessee State. I would venture to guess that they are FCS rivals. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And as sure as I'm sitting here and looking, there we go. I'm going to go with Tennessee State at home. They got a 6-4 record. Tennessee Tech needs to go back to the tech and work on its tech. That's the best I can do. My apologies. New Mexico State and Auburn. It's laughable. Yeah, I get it. It's laughable. New Mexico State doesn't have to win this game, and they won't win this game. They got bigger fish to fry. So go ahead and take Auburn at home. But New Mexico State's preparing for a Conference USA title game against Liberty. I want to make sure that I have this right. I got to look. And, yep, New Mexico State, Liberty. That's Friday night, December the 1st. Conference USA title game. For now, they can take a loss and don't have to worry about anything. Take Auburn over New Mexico State. Marshall and South Alabama. This is a huge game for both teams. Why? The answer is very simple. The winner gets bowl eligibility. The loser has to wait one more week. With that being said, I am going to go with Marshall because I think a bowl season just wouldn't be the same without the Thundering Herd. And I could probably say that for South Alabama too. But I want to see, not now. I've done enough schedule skimming. But I want to see if this pick means I made the right choice in picking Marshall, and South Alabama I can pick next week. I just want to see who they're playing next week, but not now. That was a minefield I just got you all tiptoeing through, so forgive me for that one. Old Dominion and Georgia Southern. I was trying to sing something and I thought, nah, I'm not going to do it. Old Dominion and I got to backpedal here. Old Dominion, where are we? I thought there were, Sunbelt, my bad. I was looking at the wrong conference. Old Dominion and Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern's already in line for a bowl. Old Dominion needs to win its final 2 games. It's going to be a tough sell. But they have, and the sad part about it is they get Georgia Southern and Georgia State back to back. I hate to say this, but I'm afraid Old Dominion's bowl aspirations aren't going to come through this year. I can't see it happening. I'm going to take Georgia Southern at home in that one. Then we have, I tell you what, I'm going to skip the Cal and Stanford game. I'm going to do that real quick. Let's do these. Kentucky, South Carolina. The formula's simple for the Gamecocks. They got to win out to get a bowl bid. Can Williams-Brice Stadium make a difference and the Cocks beat the Cats? There's a joke in there somewhere. I'm not going there. Or will Kentucky find a way to better their chances for perhaps maybe let's say a New Year's Eve bowl? Because I can't see them playing a New Year's Day one. There's way too much ground to cover to even get into a bowl like the ReliaQuest. Or it's the Outback Bowl, okay? It's either that, the Citrus, maybe the Gator, I don't know. But I'm going to go with South Carolina at home because I honestly wasn't sure if they were going to be able to make the party. Now they got a very good chance at doing so. They win this, they get Clemson next, and then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. FIU and Arkansas. Arkansas at home. Arkansas' season is done. Boise State and Utah State. The winner gets a bowl bid. The loser waits one more week. Earlier this week, on my work, I work in the W&J. I wore Boise State colors, but I'm taking Utah State at home. Boise State can wait one more week. And besides, Boise State, well, you know something, though? I mean, if Boise State's got a new coach in place, I don't know the name, but a different coach typically means, and I'm still not going to play the mulligan card on this. I've already thought about it earlier in the show and then thought better of it. But I'm going to take Utah State at home. And let's make sure that we're looking at this right here. Both teams 5-5. Boise State, if they lose, they got Air Force at home on the blue turf. And that might be the game that could decide things. If it's Utah State, and should they lose, they go to New Mexico to finish things out. So I'm one to think that both might end up with 6 wins. So I have to pick one here. I would much rather Boise State win at home anyway. So yeah, I'm going to take Utah State. And finally, Cal and Stanford. The game. Not much of a backdrop for this one, I'm afraid. But neither team is going to go to a bowl. At least I don't think they are. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to check the records. I mean, I could have very easily had just wrote them down and it would have made a lot of sense. Well, you know what? Stanford's out of the bowl running, but Cal isn't. Cal's 4-6. And they get UCLA on the road after this one. Better win now because you're losing next week. I'm going to take Cal over Stanford. And that, my friends, takes care of the first half of the picks for Saturday. So, the next time we meet up, it will be at Cameron Stadium on a very chilly Saturday morning as we get you ready for W&J's 2023 ECAC James Lina Bowl against the United States Merchant Marine Academy. And also coming up tomorrow, all the lanyard selections and the whiteout selections that go with them. And plus, yours truly is going to unleash hell on the NCAA regarding James Madison. From all of me to all of you, BR signing off from the homestead. This has been the Selection Saturday Kickoff Show right here on Facebook and YouTube. Good night.